Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to today's webinar on Introduction to Trading in Stock Market with Atrad, Empowering Your Financial Future. I'm Lahiru Ratna, CEO of Cal Securities, and I'm honored to have the privilege to guide you through to this insightful session dedicated to exploring the dynamic world of online trading and the features of the Atrad platform has to offer. Special thanks to both of you for attending this event today on a Sunday morning. Shanoy Silva and Charit Hewardira from ATAT Dream are in our panel. Over the next hour, we will dig into key aspects of the ATAT, discussing its unique features and the numerous benefits it brings to all traders of all backgrounds. We will provide valuable insights, share best practices, and answer your questions at the end of this session. Again, thank you for joining us, and let us make this webinar a productive and an enriching experience for all. Let me quickly take you through what we'll be discussing today on the Atrad platform from my side. I will take you through some basic features on the Atrad platform. Basic features include the market watch and the sector watch, how you can check top gainers and top losers on a market at a particular time, understanding the market depth and the trade book, how to enter buy sell orders and different order types, order management and how to look at the order blotter, what if analysis, average cost calculator, and how to check the market announcements Let me take you to the video that we have recorded during a live market hour, and I'll guide you through the different process and the steps. So this is how a typical Atrad screen, web screen will look like once you log in with your credentials. I'll start with some basic features. What you see in the top, you have the ASPI index on the top. You have the S&P index. Then you see the turnover. This is for a particular day at a particular time, and you have the total volumes traded so far. And you see the trades. The cash in, cash out is basically what's actually been bought and what's actually been sold in the market. And what's quite interesting, what Atrad has updated recently, is you can see the buy sentiment in the market. So this data is as at 10:30 on Friday morning. So as at Friday morning 10:30, you see there are 76 positive trades against 76 positive stocks versus 76 negative stocks in the market. So the market contribution, you can see, therefore, it's as a percentile point, market is up 0.16% or 18 points as at Friday 10:30 a.m. I will start with on the market watch. What I would normally recommend you to just to give a quick reminder. We'll only be talking about the equities. We won't be touching upon fixed income securities trading at this point. So what we have done is we have taken the full market watch. So if you click on the full market watch, what you could see the total. We have 290 listed stocks on Columbus Exchange. You see the total 290 stocks being listed on the below screen. But I would recommend you to go through different stocks at different times, but you could see the bid price, bid ask quantities. I'm not going to go into all these features one by one, but what's interesting is if you click on the turnover volume or change, if you double click it's any of these columns, you can sort the market turnover by the highest turnover stock for the late to the lowest turnover stocks. Just like that, if you double click on the percentage point, you can see the highest gainer for the days and highest losers for the days in the stock. But there are other features also which I will take you through. So if you click on total market watch, that's how it looks like. And something it's interesting to see, there are sector watch in the market. I mean, there are particular traders who would like to trade only on a particular sector. For instance, there are 20 sectors that is being classified according to JIC standard, which is Global Industry Classified in Standards in Columbus Stock Exchange. All those 20 sectors are there on the Atrad. And certain people would go to different sectors. I'll start with the banking sector. That's quite common sector where a lot of retail and institutional investors have interest in. So if you go down and click on the banking sector, what you could see is you could see all the banking sector stocks will drop down. And again, as I did earlier, just you can look at the turnover, which stock in the banking sector has the highest turnover for the day, and which stock on the banking sector has the best gain for the day or best losers for the day. You can do this with few other sectors as well. What I would do is at your leisure, just try on some of these features um, at your leisure. There's another feature that you have in this Atrad system. You can see the top gainers and top losers on a particular day, on a particular time. But I would recommend you to get a best idea, as we need these data live. We had to do this recording at an early hours of trading. But for you to get a better idea, what I would recommend you to do to get a best idea about the top gainers and top losers in the market, keep it to a latter part, ideally just before the market closes. This is a feature you can check to see the momentum in the market in terms of the stocks. And what you see in the historically, what you call the penny stocks, so the stocks trade below 1 rupee, would have higher fluctuations in the market generally within the day. And next, I will take you to the important part of this whole webinar. What we call is the market depth, or we call this the order book. I'm going to use Ceylon cold stores as an example. I'll probably use Ceylon cold stores for the rest of the examples as well. So what's interesting to see here, if you open Ceylon cold stores order book, you can see there are 143 shares up a buyer at 48.80, and what splits is there are three separate sellers. And on the ask side, what you can see, ask is the offers. There are 876 shares offered at 49.70, and there are two splits. So just like that, it go on. You're buying that comes from the lowest price to higher price. Sorry, the buying comes from the lowest to higher price. Just like that, you're selling also start from the lowest seller to the highest seller. What's interesting to see, you see in this order book, there are total bids of 7,063. So what that shows is from a particular time, from a particular price point, there are total 7,000 buyers in the market on a particular time. And there are 35,016 total sellers at this particular time in the market on the total order book. I think, as I explained, your splits can be an individual, it could be a corporate, or even it could be an individual who has put few different orders, could come as a few splits. And the next feature which I will take you through is the trades so far. So what's interesting on this feature is, on this particular stock, I think, as I said earlier, we have taken an hour into the market. You can see, let me change this to Ceylon cold stores again. It'll be easier for us to understand. So on Ceylon cold stores, there have been trades that has happened at 9:43 up to 9:57. And you can see the stock has started trading at 48.90 and has dropped to 48.80. The stock has traded below the previous closing price. Let me open up the trader book summary as well. And I'm just going to change this back to Ceylon cold stores again. So if you look at all these three, the windows, the Ceylon cold stores on the particular time period has traded three different splits, three different trades at 48.90 and two different trades at 48.80. That will what will show you on a traded summary so far for Ceylon cold stores. But you can, I would say, you can do this very regularly on a particular stock that you're following up, and you can understand the trend of how the stock's been behaving. And I would say, let's say for instance, you are a buyer who wants to buy 100 shares of Ceylon cold stores, then you can make up your mind whether to go up to 49.70 and take these shares from the market, or whether you want to put a buyer in the market and wait at a lower price, because the stock has already traded at a lower price to the previous opening. I would recommend in a situation like this, you stay at a lower price and try to pick up the stocks at a lower price. On a particular stock, when you do the buy order or sell order, you will have to select your client account. So this is an traders platform, therefore we'll have multiple accounts. But in a normal circumstances, you will have a default account, which is your account, so which you don't have to change your account all the time. I'll take you to the asset classes and how to put a buy order. So let me take you the certain features of the order book. So what you have is the asset class. As I said, we'll only talk about the equity here. Your action, I'm going to put a buy order. Your security ID, I have taken Ceylon Coal Stores as an example, which I would do throughout this video. And your board is a regular. So there are two options in the board. There are regular board and a crossing board. But I think, for online trading, the crossing board will not be used in most of the occasions. So regular board is the board that will use in 99% of the time. And there's your quantity, your price. We'll come back to the minimum fill and disclose quantities, order types, TIF days, and stop price. So these are just a hypothetical client that we have used. He has 170. What on your right hand side, what you can see how much buying power the client has. As we enter a trade, we can see how these numbers would change. So in this example here, what I have taken is I want to buy 50 shares of Ceylon Coal Stores at 49.70. So I've decided to take the shares from the seller, which is in the market. As soon as I enter my number of shares at a price, you can see on your right hand side, the number of the order value will change, and it will show me if I hold shares already. So this particular client owned 250 shares already. So I'm trying to pick up another 50 shares, and your order value would change, your trade commission, and the net value would all pop it up on the screen. And as I go on by, so if it's just a simple trade where I want to buy 50 shares of Ceylon Coal Stores, this is just a very simple trade, which I don't need to do anything extraordinary. So I just enter and keep it as a limit order, and I hit the buy button, and my trade will basically get executed. So if you look at in this feature here, you have a feature called disclose quantity. This is what we call an iceberg orders. So let's say, for instance, an iceberg order, what happened? The order size will be relieved as a disclosed quantity and not as the full order quantity. Let's say, for instance, I'm a buyer for 5,000 shares of Ceylon Coal Stores instead of 50 shares at this point. Bear in mind, this iceberg orders, the minimum disclosed quantity is 10% of the total order. So what I could actually do is, if I were to buy 5,000 shares at 49, instead of putting my entire bid in the market, I can deceive the market by only disclosing 10% of the market. So the 10% of the market on my 5,000 order will be 500 shares. So I would actually come into the board if I disclose this. If instead of buying 50, I'll get 5,000, and I'll disclose only 500. My 5,000 order will go into the market, but my order book will only show 10% of the order. So that's where you have the disclosed order. Let me take you to the other functions in this feature. The second function you will see on the order type is what you call is a market order. A market order is an order where your order will not go into the order book. Let's say, for instance, I'm a buyer. Again, I want to buy 5,000 shares of Ceylon Coal Stores. Instead of buying 50 shares, I don't want to put a limit. I'm in a rush. I think the market is on a bullish momentum in this stock. If I were to buy 5,000 at this point, what I would do is I will just put a market order, put 5,000. My order will most probably will get executed at 49.70 and 50. What I'm taking, I hope there are no hidden orders at 49.70, but even if there are hidden orders at 49.70, I'm better off because I was willing to pay up to 50 or even above or even beyond 50. So let's say, for instance, I'm trying to buy 30,000 shares of Ceylon cold stores, which I don't want to stick to the market, which I don't want to stick to a limit. I can put a market order, and in this order book, God knows where it will go and execute. It could potentially go up to about 60 rupees and it could execute the trade. To avoid this market order, if we can look at the next feature, which is a stop order. A stop order is a market order that will remain unelected. Example, it does not go into the order book. Instead, what it will do is it will directly go to the market. But on stop order, you must submit a stop price. So let's say, for instance, you want to buy 10,000 shares. Uh, this works for buying and selling both. So I'll actually look at on the buying side. Let's say, for instance, you want to buy 10,000 shares as a stop order in Ceylon cold stores, but you want to limit your order price to 51. So what you could do is you put 10,000 shares, and you put the limit price as stop price as 51, and you can enter the shares. Your order will not go into the order book, but you will get the shares what you would wish for. And the other option that you see is a stop limit order. Again, it's very similar to a stop order. Your order will not go into the order book. Instead, your order will directly go into the exchange. A stop order must contain both stop price and a stop limit. So it should have a stop price and a limit. This works on the buy and sell both. Um, I think what you could do is, these are a little complicated. If you need a lot more clarity on this, please drop us on our chat group. Please drop us the questions. We'll definitely get back to you directly with some execution examples. Actually, CSC provides some of these examples. We can get back to you with those documents um, in the right after this meeting. And this next function on your order book is TIF function. What TIF stands for is time in force. So you can decide the time in, you can choose the time in force limit of the lifetime of an order. So let's say, for instance, the simplest and the most common order type of TIF is a day order. So basically, I'm going back to my example of buying 50 shares at 49.50. I want to buy 50 shares at 49.50. It's a day order, limit order, simple. I put an order and I move forward. My second function here is a GTD order. What GTD order is, the order is cancelled at the end of specified trading day if unexecuted. Let's say, for instance, I want to keep an order, buy or sell order for 3 market days. All what you have to do is, I put a GTD order, I click on GTD, and I enter TIF days as 3, and that order will get into the system and it will continue for the next 3 days. My other feature which I have here is, my other option is GTC orders. GTC is a very simple and straightforward orders executions time platform. So basically, your GTC order will remain valid until cancelled for 5 market days. This is a very common practice, very common order type. A lot of people choose, especially in the market, in a bull run or bear run. You can decide when you want to keep these orders. So let's say, for instance, you're in a bear market, you want to buy Ceylon cold stores, but you have a feeling it will come to 45 and you're willing to pick this stock at 45 rupees. So what you can do is, you can put a GTC order, keep that order overnight for the next 5 days, and if the stock comes down to 45, you'll get the priority and you'll probably get hit. And the other order type that we have here, some of the other orders I'm going to talk to you about are a little complicated and not very regularly being used even as traders. We hardly use some of these functions, but I'll keep you educated with some of these features. So the OPG or GTT, what you call is good till time orders. The GTT or OPT orders are orders is cancelled at the end of the specified time during the day if unexecuted. So let's say, for instance, you specify a time of this order, you want to execute it is below 12 o'clock, for example. If the order doesn't get executed before that time, it will get cancelled. However, any order, any GTT order entered during the pre-session. So let's say, for instance, you entered an order in the pre-market session. Your order will get expired right after the open auction. So it won't come to the market. My next feature is IOC. What we call IOC is immediate or cancel orders. So your immediate or cancel orders requires immediately to buy or sell of a specific quantity and a specific price or better price, or this could get executed fully or partially. Let's say, for instance, you want to put an IOC order, 10,000 shares at 50. You want to either get it immediately or partially filled. What will happen? This order will not stay in the market. Instead, it will either get filled or partially filled, or it will get cancelled instantaneously. Again, you cannot put IOC orders of immediate or cancel orders into the system during the pre-open. Just bear that in mind during the pre-open. Apart from GTC or GTD orders, other orders you cannot enter into the market. The next feature that I will look at is FOK orders, which you call fill or kill orders. Just literally what it means is, if your specified quantity doesn't get filled, your order will not get executed. So FIK orders, fill or kill orders, require the minimum purchase or sale of a specified quantity at a given price or better. If the whole order cannot be filled immediately, the order will get killed. Just as I said, bear in mind, FOK orders cannot be entered into the system during the pre-open session. So these are the basic functions of your order book. Let's move forward. I'm sure you'll have questions. Just please let us know if there's anything that you need to know. So as I earlier said, you have to click on the buy button. Once you confirm the tick here, the confirm button, you will have another video that will ask you whether you want to proceed with the order. So I would say, before you enter an order to the system, always double check. You can avoid any error trades if you do that. The next feature that we'll talk about is an order blotter. Order blotter is another important function. So what order blotter will do is, your order blotter will have all the orders which you entered during the day. And if you're a heavy trader, if you keep an eye, or if you trade on multiple securities at a time, you can look at your order blotter and see the status of the order blotter and the status of the order. So your order blotter will have the side, which is buy or sell side, the order quantity or the price, and the order value, and the remaining order. And at the same time, what's interesting is it will show you the status of the order and the TIF of the order as well. So if it's a limit order, or if it's a day or GTC order, will be visible if you go to your order blotter. And for your GTC orders, it will have the expiry date and your disclosed quantities as well. So the original entered date, the expiry dates will all be it's on the order blotter. So it's order blotter is something I would say, if you have GTC orders, keep an eye on your order blotter, because if you might have a GTC order, but if there's a negative corporate reaction or economic fundamental negative reaction, you might ended up get hit for your GTC orders if you don't keep a close eye on these orders. The next feature that I'll take you through is what we call is an account statement. Bear in mind, your account statement will show you the credit balance or debit balance of a particular client. So in your case, it will either be you or any other client that you put orders through on your system. Most probably, if it's an individual, you probably have one. But if you're an individual that you have a corporate account as well that's been logged into you, you'll see the credit or debit balances. Plus, you will see the buying power that you have on a particular account or particular statement. So as we change the client, you can see there's a change in the buying power that will also get changed. Another feature that will take you through the Atrad system is the portfolio. I've taken a very small portfolio here, so it's easier for me to explain. So if you look at your portfolio, I'm sure you'll understand the basic most of these features here, but keep in mind on this feature is BES price. So your BES price is basically BES price here is the break-even selling price. So most of the times when we buy a stock, we need to know what price that we should exit at a break-even. So your BES price will tell you, for instance here, my dialog, my average price that I have bought the stock is 1061, and any price above 10 rupees and 74 cents, I will be making money. And again, on this feature, what you could see, the market value of your portfolio. The market value here reflect the last traded price of the stock, and which is a live feature. And your unrealized gains, or your unrealized gains or losses according to the market price, you can see live on the Atrad platform. Right, let us move into another feature. Again, let me just pause you here before I move on. As you could see under clients, you can actually get in touch with your brokers through the Atrad system. So even if you want to change your passwords, or if there are any advice inquiries, just you can reach out to us directly through the Atrad platform. And you see just at the bottom under the client short position report, Atrad is ready for short positioning as well. That feature is not available in the CSE yet, but CSE is eager to introduce short selling, stock borrowing and lending from mid of October. So once you have those short position and short selling orders, CSE platform will, Atrad platform will have the features that enables you. Let me take you to this what if calculator. This is something that isn't, this is basically a pseudo trade. This is not an actual trade, but this what if feature will help you to determine a expected return that you want to make on a stock before you buy that. So I'm sticking back to my Ceylon cold stores. Last Friday I decided to buy a certain number of shares of Ceylon cold store, and I'm hoping to sell this in 2 weeks, so which is 6th October. I want to buy at 48.80, 50 shares, and I'm planning to sell these 50 shares at 53 rupees in 2 weeks. So my holding period is for 14 days. All I have to do is just simply click on the calculate button, and you see the expected return. So basically my total investment is close to 2,467, and I make 152 rupees in this trade. It might look like a small trade where you only make 3% in 2 weeks, but keep an eye on your annualized holding period return. You make 161% annualized holding period return. This is probably the beauty on the equity sometimes. Not many people look at the annualized return, but if you want to look at an annualized return of an investment, you could always go and do a what if calculator on the system. Let us move on to your average cost calculator. So what your average cost calculator does is it allow you to average a stock by buying at a particular price, at a particular price point. Again, in the system I'll have to choose a client, but in your case, you'd probably be the default account holder. From this particular client, I have 4,485 shares of People's Leasing, which I have bought at 11.85, and the stock price has dropped to 11.10 now. So what I'm trying to achieve here is buy some more shares and bring my average cost down close to the market. So what I could actually do is I can try to buy this is just basically a hypothesis question. Whether I want to buy 9 shares, sorry, 9 at 9 rupees, I want to buy 5,000 shares and I want to bring my average cost down, and I want to know what would be my expected average price if I bought 5,000 shares at 9 rupees in a declining market. So basically, all you have to do is you enter your last traded price, you enter number of shares to buy, and hit the calculate button, and it shows you the expected average price in the system. So basically my 4,455 shares, then I'll have another 5,000 shares. So my total number of shares will be 9,455. And instead of having an average of 1185, my average expected price will drop to 10 rupees and 34 cents. I would just jump into the announcements. I think this is something that every trader should actually keep an eye on. So the announcements are corporate announcements that could probably include your dividend announcement, the share splits and bonus issues, and your corporate announcement corporate announcement involves the corporate announcement on a particular quarterly earnings, annualized earnings. You can keep an eye on the company earnings as well. So let's say, for instance, if you have only 5 portfolios, keep an eye on these on the CSE announcements daily, because your share price movement is determined on the CSE or the corporate announcements. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we have Shenoy and Charit from the Atrad team as well. Please send us your whatever the questions that you have at this point. We've got a question here. It's basically said, what is the difference between bid price and is that fee? Not quite sure about that question. So basically, what your bid price is, the price that you have entered, a price that you have entered by a particular stock is your bid price basically. Are there demo accounts in Atrad? I don't think. Shenoy, are there demo accounts in Atrad on Atrad right now?
But currently we don't live, but that is something that is coming down, but not right at the moment.
Right. But I can do on our analytical platform. There's a tool where you can actually run it's like run a pseudo portfolio. Just directly, please send whoever send this question. Please send your email address to us. We'll get back to you on how you can actually run a demo portfolio that will actually not be on the Atrad platform, but it will be it will be very similar to the Atrad platform, but you can get a better idea on how to run a portfolio without actually putting in money. There's another question, Shano. It says, what platform do you recommend, Atrad, Windows, or online?
Yeah, so to answer to that question, I believe it depends on the choice of the investor, specifically as to what sort of tools you use while you trade. So if you're someone that trades on the go, it is very likely that you would be using the web version because there are no limitations. You quickly open up any browser. As long as you have an internet connection, you can easily access the system. But of course, there is no limitation for you to use the desktop version. So if you want sophisticated tools, if you use multiple screens, if you want to save your workspaces, with all that, you have the luxury of customizing how you trade on the desktop version. So it all depends on how you want to do the trading, but there is no limitation. Your account credentials give you access to all the 3 platforms.
Thank you, Shenoy. We have another question. Can we open the Atrad platform in TradingView? I'm not quite sure. Shenoy, do you get what that question is? Basically, I'm finding it difficult to fathom that question, honestly.
Well, I too am not very clear on the question, but in terms of the relationship of TradingView, I think we also use TradingView in terms of the charting module that we use, but I'm not sure how exactly opening Atrad in TradingView works. If they can maybe clarify the question, we probably would be able to answer.
Sure. I have another question. This is predominantly for Cal, I guess. What is the portfolio value you expecting to provide online trading facility? Our our minimum investment that we have decided was 100,000 rupees. So anything above 100,000 rupees, you'll have the access to the trading platform from our side. But I think it depends on broker to broker. So I'm not that I can only tell you with our experience and with our policies basically. Yeah, we have a lot of questions about the stop loss and the different order types. It's little complicated. Again, it's not commonly used in many trading platforms. But what we will do is we'll send you a link demo, like an explanation of how it's actually been done. We have some examples of how actually been done. So we'll get back to you. I've got this question a few times now. I'll get back to you
Lairo,
everyone.
Lairo, this is Charit here.
Yes, Charit.
Yeah, Lairo, if more people have the interest on the stop and stop limit orders,
Yeah.
so if the time is permit, so I can try to simplify it a little bit by doing some explanation.
Yes, please. If you can do that, that will be great. We have that question in multiple places, Charit.
Okay, so basically, you know that in normal circumstance, we use the market and limit orders. The same way, stop and stop limit orders are the conditional orders to the market and limit orders. So you can consider stop order as a market order, limit order, and the stop limit orders are kind of equal. So only thing is there is a condition to evaluate the order. For example, in a stop order, you just like you put a market order. In a market order, you can't put a price. You just need to select the share when you and the quantity when you submit the order, so it will get executed to the market price. The same way, in a stop order, what you need to put is the stop price, but you can't decide the buy price. Stop price is not the buy price. So most of the people confuse with that. Stop price is a condition, right? So what will happen is, so if you put a stop price and the quantity and the share, when you submit it, it will not get elected to the order book until there is a trade happen on the same share on your stop price. For let's say, for example, John Keel's, right? Take a John Keel's stock. So right now it's trading at 160 rupees, right? You can put a stop price saying that stop price is 150, right? So then you put it to the order, but it will not get elected because currently John Keel's trading at 160, right? Let's say in a downtrend market, if John Keel's is to 150, the moment it hit the 150, your order will get elected and get executed the most possible price which is available right now because it's a market order, right? So that's how a stop order is working. The same way, stop loss or stop limit order, you have an option to put the price as well. It's like a normal limit order. So in a stop limit order, you have to put the price as usual, and you can put the stop price. For example, again, let's say John Keel's, you put a stop price as 150, your price as 145, right? So in that case, the currently trading at 160, right? So once you put the order, it will not get elected to the market depth. But in a downtrend market, if this share hit the 150, your order will elected to the order book, but the price will be 145 because you mention it as a 145, your price. So in these, especially stop limit orders, you can use more into the downtrend market to secure your loss. I mean, so if you want to reduce your loss in a highly downtrend market, you can put stop limit orders. In a highly growing market, to get a better to purchase a stock in a better price, mostly you can use the stop orders. So I think that will explain this thing. So if there are any other clarification also, I can help.
Thank you, Charit. I think what we'll try to do is what we decided is to create a demo of like a small video of how that that's going to how the short selling, sorry, how the stop losses, stop orders will work. Even being a trader, we hardly use it, so it's a little complicated. It's not something we used every day. But thanks for that explanation. But we'll definitely get back to basically everyone in this on this webinar today with the answer. I've got another question. What else can we trade on Atrad platform apart from equities? I can simply say that instruments are being traded on the Atrad platform. Do you want to elaborate more on this, Shannon?
Laidu, I think in currently regulatory, based on the regulatory thing, so only the qualified investment advisor can do debt trading. So that's why in a regular platform, we are not allowed to do it for the individual clients.
Right. So it's basically equity, but when the short selling permits, can individuals from the online platform, can they short?
Yes, Lairu, so in current circumstance also, system is ready with the short selling, but only thing is currently short selling is not regularized. But
Right.
you know, the SBL is coming on the way on
Yes.
next month. So with the SBL, you can do a regularized short selling. That means, so if you are into the lending and borrowing agreement with the broker, so you can do the short selling.
Right, and I've got another question. I'm new to the market. It's a little bit confusion at what price the investor buy shares, bid price or ask. So basically, you buy a share from a seller. So seller is basically the ask price. So on my example, which I used earlier on Ceylon cold stores, there were ask price was 49.70, and there were sellers at that point. So that's where you'll buy if you want to buy from the market. But if you're someone who's willing to participate in the market, you can put a bid at a lower price and be a buyer in the market. So hoping your seller will sell it to you at some point. This is for the Atrad guys. How the technical analysis being used? And there's a question for us. Basically, can we arrange another session for technical analysis? We definitely can. Charit, is there anything you want to elaborate on this? The technical analysis actually being used by most of the investors who trades online. I'm sure with the help of Atrad, we should be able to arrange another session on the technical analysis. If you can add a bit more on that, Charit.
Yeah, I do. So basically, we have a very strong platform to do all the required technical analysis for the investment advisors and especially for the research department. So we are using one of the most popular charting modules. So it is TradingView, which is of the most US and UK trading platforms are using. So it is basically covering all the required technical tools. Like currently, it's having the 105 technical tools, which is commonly used across the world. So and also you can do a lot of calculation, like short position calculations. Most of the statistical tools you can apply on top of the chart. So this is very advanced charting tool. So we already did one session related to the technical analysis with one of the industry veteran. So that video will be available in the Atrad YouTube channel very soon. Apart from that, so as Lairu mentioned, so based on the context, we can consider of having another session which will be useful for the advisors as well as the retail investors. So let's see how we can work on that, Lairu.
Sure, Charit. Sure. We'll be happy to do another event, obviously, on the technical charting and technical trading. There's another question. Can we use multiple broker house accounts in Atrad? Not quite sure how to answer that.
Yeah, so basically you can use, but only thing is we are not giving the single sign-on option. So where you have to separately log into the different brokers. But so based on we are getting some of the requests from the retail investors. So we are looking for a switching option where if let's say if you logging with the cal login. So but if you have another account in some different broker firm. So switching between those accounts, your own accounts will be available in near future.
I think this is all the questions that we have for now. For all the participants, I'd like to say thank you very much for participating today, especially Shenoy and Charit. Thank you so much for your time on a Sunday to spend some time with us. At the same time, I would like to tell all of you that we'll send you a Q&A right after, most probably tomorrow. Just please let us know if you have any questions, any clarities that you would like to get on trading and on the trading platform, or if there's any other questions that you have. Once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time in our next session. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Lairu.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Shenoy.
everyone. Thank you, Lairu.